Good day, everyone. Today, our lesson is all about quadratic equation. And how do we solve quadratic equation? We have four methods, but we will now proceed to the fourth method, which is the quadratic formula. But before that, what are the values of ABC from this quadratic equation? Okay, so the first one is x squared plus 4x plus 3 equals 0. It is already in standard form, so we can easily get the values of a, b, and c. So our a, b, and c are 1, 4, and 3. For the second one is 2x squared plus 3x minus 20 equals 0. It is also in standard form, so we can easily get the values of a, b, c. So our a is 2, b is 3, c is negative 20. And then for the third one, 2x squared minus 3x minus 5 equals 0. Our values of a, b, c are 2, negative 3, and negative 5. And for the fourth one, we have 4b squared plus 8b plus 7 equals 4. So, first we should make it into its standard form or transform it. How? By making 4 at the right side as 0. 4 can become 0 if you will add its opposite. So we add negative 4 to both sides. So it becomes 4b squared plus 8b plus 3 equals 0. So our ABC is 4, 8, and 3. Okay, so again, we should make the right side equals to 0 to make it into its standard form or transforming it into its standard form. So why do we need to identify the values of a, b, c? Because in the fourth method, the quadratic formula, this is the quadratic formula that we need to use. There are letters in this formula. We have b, a, and c. So we will substitute those values of ABC to solve using the quadratic formula. For example, again, this is our quadratic formula. X is equal to negative b. Positive or negative is square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Okay, so if we need to solve x squared plus 4x plus 3 equals 0, we should identify first the values of a, b, c because it is already in standard form. So our a is 1, b is 4, c is 3. So here, we will substitute all the values of the letters. So from the quadratic formula, it becomes x equals negative 4. We substitute 4 to b. Positive or negative is square root of 4 squared minus 4 times 1. 1 came from the value of a, and times 3. 3 came from the value of c, all over 2 times 1. Again, 1 came from the value of a. Okay, then we will simplify. Okay, so negative times 4 is simply negative 4, plus or minus is square root of our 4 squared here above is equal to 16. And then, negative 4 times 1 times 3 is equal to negative 12. Okay, we can easily know whether it is negative or positive depending on the number of negative signs at the inside the radicand. So we have here 1 negative, it is negative 12. If you have 2 negative numbers, it becomes positive. Okay, later you will know that. Okay, this then over 2 times 1, 2. Okay, then simplifying further, we have negative 4 plus or minus. 16 minus 12 is simply 4. So the difference between 16 minus 12 is 4. All over, copy the denominator 2. Then get the square root of 4. So we have x is equal to negative 4. Copy negative 4. Then it becomes positive or negative 2 all over 2. So your square root of 4 becomes positive or negative 2. Okay, and then separate your positive 2 and negative 2. You have now x equals negative 4 plus 2 all over 2, and x equals negative 4 minus 2 all over 2. So we separated plus 2 and minus 2 for positive or negative 2. Then simplify each equation. So you have negative 2 plus 2. They have different signs. You need to subtract, then copy the sign of the higher absolute value. So you have negative 2 all over 2. Negative 4 plus 2 is negative 2. Then negative 2 divided by 2, different signs, it becomes negative 1. 2 divided by 2 is 1. And then if you divide different signs, one negative and one positive, the answer is negative. So for this, the second one, you have negative 4 minus 2. So you have different you have the same sign rather. They have same sign, therefore it becomes negative 6 over 2. Why? Because you add same signs. Then copy the common sign or the same sign. So you have 4 plus 2, 6. Then copy negative. So you have negative 6 over 2. Again, this is division of two different signs, one negative and one positive. So negative 6 divided by 2, it is negative 3. So 6 divided by 2 is 3. Then they have different signs. Your final answer is negative. So it's negative 3. Again, this is your quadratic formula. So how do you solve for 2x squared plus 3x minus 20 equals 0? So our ABC are 2, 3, and negative 20. We will substitute that, each of the letter, in the quadratic formula. So you have x equals negative 3, negative, then 3, substitute 3 to your b, positive or negative square root of, again, 3 for b, squared, minus 4 times 2 for A, times negative 20 for C, all over 2 times 2 for A. Okay, so we substituted 2, 3, and negative 20 in the quadratic formula. Simplify the quadratic formula. So you have negative times 3 is negative 3. Plus or minus is square root of 3 squared is simply 9. Then you have here negative 4 times 2 times negative 20. So at that above, you have two negatives. Negative 4 and negative 20. So it becomes positive. So 4 times 2, 8 times 20, 160. And it becomes positive. Positive 160. Because you multiply two negative numbers. Okay, divided by 2 times 2, which is 4. So, all over 4 po ang denominator natin. So, simplify further. We have negative 3 plus or minus square root of 169. Where does it came from? So, 9 plus 160 is 169 all over 4. Then get the square root of 169. It is positive or negative 13. So you have x is equals to negative 3, positive or negative 13, all over 4. Then separate positive or negative 13. So you have negative 3 plus 13 over 4. And negative 3 minus 13 over 4. So we separated the plus and positive and negative 13, or plus and minus 13. So we simplify the first one. So you have negative 3 plus 13. They have different signs. Therefore, you will subtract, then copy the higher sign of the higher absolute value. So it becomes x equals 10 over 4. You can get the lowest term for this fraction. So it is x over 5, x equals 5 over 2. So we divide both numerator and the denominator by 2. 10 divided by 2, 5. 4 divided by 2, 2. So your final lowest term is 5 over 2. So for the second one, you have negative 3 minus 13. So in this second equation, you have x equals negative 16 over 4. Why? Because you have same sign, you need to add, then copy the same sign or the common sign. So you have negative 16 over 4. Then here, you can divide 16 by 4. So it is x equals negative 4. So why negative? Because you have different signs. The numerator is negative 16 and the denominator is positive 4. So your final answer should be negative if you divide different signs. Okay. Okay, so how do we solve 2x squared minus 3x minus 5 equals 0? Again, it is already in standard form. If it is not, you need to transform it first. So it is in standard form. So this is your A, 2, B, negative 3, and C equals negative 5. So we substitute again the values of A, B, C in the quadratic formula. So you have x equals negative times the value of B, which is negative 3, plus or minus square root of the value of B again is negative 3 squared minus 4 times the value of A, which is 2, times the value of C, which is negative 5, all over 2 times the value of A, which is 2. Okay, then simplify further. Negative times negative 3 is positive 3. If you multiply two negatives, it becomes positive. Plus or minus the square root of negative 3 squared is simply negative 3 times negative 3. So it becomes 9. Then negative 4 times 2 times negative 5. You can see here two negative numbers, negative 4 and negative 5. So it becomes positive. Then multiply 4 times 2 times 5. It is 40. 4 times 2, 8 times 5, 40. So it's positive 40. All over 4. 2 times 2 is 4. Then add 9 plus 40, it becomes 49. So 3 plus or minus square root of 49 all over 4. Then get the square root of 49. So you have x is equal to 3, positive or negative 7 all over 4. Then we separate positive or negative 7. So it's x equals 3 plus 7 over 4 and x equals 3 minus 7 over 4. So simplify the first one. 3 plus 7 is equal to 10 over 4. Again, we can simplify this into its lowest term. So it becomes 5 over 2. For the second one, you have 3 minus 7 over 4. So they have different signs. You need to subtract, then copy the sign of the higher absolute value, which is negative 7. So you have negative 4 over 4. 7 minus 3 or 3 minus 7. So you have here there 4 and use the negative sign. Negative 4 all over 4. Then you can divide 4 by 4. It is 1. Why it is negative? The final is x equals negative 1 because you have numerator is negative and denominator is positive. If you divide different signs, it's negative. Okay. So if you have questions, you can ask me in comment section or in our chat. Wrap up or summarize our lesson for today. In solving quadratic equation using quadratic formula, the first step is transform the quadratic equation into its standard form. That will be ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. Then, second step is identify the values of, yes, we need to identify the values of a, b, and c. After getting the value of a, b, and c, what do we need to do? For the third step, yes, we need to substitute the values of a, b, and c in the quadratic formula. We have x equals negative b plus positive or negative square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Then the fourth one is simplify. Okay, we simplify the values inside the quadratic formula or the quadratic formula itself. We need to simplify all the things that we need to solve there. Okay, that's all. Thank you, and I hope you listen to this discussion.